Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's Career Mode. We're on episode 88. So far this season, I'd evaluate the season as very underwhelming. Missing one key guy. We're a very different team now, and we're not going to compete in the same manner in which we did last season. The one revelation thus far is that our efforts to improve the quality of our sprint absolutely grounded in truth. We are now competitive. We're not going to win a ton, but we're competitive and capable of getting some wins. So that's fantastic. Second lesson, in the similar manner, is that classics-wise, that's still difficult for us, but we're definitely a step better off there too, from completely, unhinged to believe that we could compete in a classic, anything cobbled classic, to, you could just about do it now. It's still down to Galvez, but he's got some support around him, and it definitely gives us hope. So those two elements, that's where we've made some progress, right? Outside of that, it's a definite step backwards this year. No Berlikov. In fact, Berlikov's here. We got to beat him. And that's a big test. We've already found that Berlikov is capable of winning with his new team on his own without us. So it isn't just how we handled him. He's a beast, period. 40k to go. Let's get somebody to take care of the water situation. Martin, Michael, both in the crash that just occurred. So, as we are getting underway here in Stage 1 in Catalonia, this is not a big race, it's not a major race, but I skipped the entire early season stuff, and it's a World Tour race, so why the heck not? Let's see what we can do. B, for the sake of sponsorship, we need to do something because we hadn't done something previously. And our sponsor evaluation was down to 12%. So we really needed to pick something up now. That recent stage victory that we picked up on the sprint, that gave us a healthy little boost. I mean, that by itself brought us up about 10%. Wasn't just that sprint win, actually. It was our overall position, which was just inside the top 25. So something here hopefully can give us a little more. We're going to speed things up so we don't slip back too far. 20k to go. But then it's essentially a sprint stage here, and we're not a sprinter. So let's just kind of speed through the end of this stage and get into stage 2. The team that I have for this one built a little bit better for GC. Karaman is here. Gonzalez Albiol, he has some support. It's all climbers. There's a couple climbing stages and one time trial. Not that it's a long time trial, but it's still a time trial. I have no sprinters here, so I guess there's no point really going for the sprint. Still 28 seconds to the front, too. We have not caught them. 10k to go. Alright, let's see. Karaman, not a sprinter. Kikovci, Isakov, wonderful race day condition. Still not a sprinter. Let's give Karaman a free tow, because that's our overall hope. These two at Narbutas is hanging way too far back, so we will follow Luco. Narbutas, just try to break toe from anybody behind you. It's only 10k, right? There you go. Habits die hard, folks. I have no sprinter here, yet it's still just in my nature. It's in my nature to form a sprint train and 6k. It's close enough to gel up for everyone. Keeps that easy.
5 kilometers to the finish line.
And we're just now reeling in the breakaway.
The pack gave them no chance.
They nearly made it. Final 5K. Luco's certainly got us in the ideal position at 3.7. I'm actually tempted to start sprinting. But we are in the ideal position right now. 2.7, huh? Ribovus, give me your sprint. It's all Salbiel. On to yours. 2.1. Why is he going so wide? That's not good. Now they're slowing down. They're backing off. Kikochi, 1.5.
It looks like the pack has bitten the dust collectively, but the riders
Isakov giving his sprint. That was competitive. That was competitive, all things considered. Ethan Hayter, of course. Mr. Godlike on here. He's got crazy numbers.
We're waiting for the back markers, who appear to be fairly numerous in this difficult
11th. That's still all we managed. We didn't even crack top 10 on the stage. It's all good, though. Alright, so we're on to stage number 2. This is the time trial. It's an interesting time trial because it is not a given on how this thing's going to go. As we go 20th place with Gonzalez Albiol, 49 seconds down. Karaman just about to set off. He's the other one we're going to focus on, as those are our obvious 2 team leaders. Karaman +4, not by accident though. He is expected to have a +3 for this race. He's got an objective. He's got a fitness peak right now. And through this first sector, I think it's important to ride at about an 86, where you're digging a little bit deeper than what you can afford, but this is where you can gain the most time, especially as a strong climber. Karaman should be very much near the top over there through here. 8 seconds down, surprisingly. But we're going to back off slightly through here at an 84. It's going to allow him to recover just a little bit of red bar. Isakov, also a +5 right now. So looking really good on that front for him. Okay, now step back up to an 86, 87 for Karaman. Somewhere in between there on what works best. Second time check is second place, just 6 seconds behind right now for Karaman. It's looking like it's going to be a really, really good time. We're going to back off just a little bit because he's going pretty deep here. But you get that little bit downhill towards the finish. And attack the line. Second place, 5 seconds behind. That's good. Van Wilder is not somebody we're worried about. Carapaz, Ironsman, Sivikov, Paulus, Gegenhardt, all in the top 10. Yeah, you want to worry about them. But Isakov, under 25's jersey. Interesting that he has that. He's 5th. Let's pause and take over. At 87, might just about make it. You see, he hasn't quite pushed as hard as we did. Final K. Third place, 11 seconds down. So Isakov comes in just behind Karaman. Both of them in a strong position. That's good. That's really good. And they're both getting that expected +3s. So looks like we've got 2 contenders for this race. He's not at the race. I woke up to a Martin Guerrero level up. He's now 78 overall. This is one of those key steps that we needed towards getting the possible promotion for next season. Martin Guerrero went from a 77 to a 78 mountain. His time trial, I think, likewise went from a 77 now to a 79. Stamina resistance are certainly okay. His downhill's good. He's far from perfect. But that's the kind of upgrade we need to get us into World Tour. It's got to happen internally. We're not signing any big external names this coming off season. You know, the funny thing is I put a blind up on this window so that I wouldn't get glare. And then I proceed to, well, my wife mostly proceeded to put things up, and I allowed it to put things up on the windowsill so I can't close the blind all the way. And some of those things really refract light. There's a crystal plaque up there. There's a bamboo plant inside glass vase that, refract light. And anyway, while I try to dodge this, we're in Bruges, and this is a really important race because for some reason our sponsor is obsessed with this one. This is maximum rating for our sponsor, and we had bypassed all of our sponsor objectives to start the season, and had failed all of them in bypassing. As a result, that's why our sponsor confidence was crazy low. We really need to get this result to get our sponsor confidence on the go for the year and get it out of the gutter, out of the cellar. So with 27k to go, we prepare to have a sprint finish, and let's see how high we can finish. It would be helpful if I remembered exactly what the objective was. Top 10? Top 5? Win? I don't know. We'll finish as high as we can and go from there. Speaking of finishing as high as we can, Bernotas and Kalnins are the two top sprinters, and they both have very good race day conditions. So, our chances are, it's possible. It's possible that we could get a result here. 20k. Breakaway's done, so 150 riders. 18k. Not too much fatigue out there. 17k. Let's get our domestiques to gel up. I think we're about to see an attack. Too early for those four, but they should be caught very quickly.
Is off.
Yeah, there was a response, so they're not even getting off the front.
There are just
15k. 14k. I think we'll set things up at about 13. Alright. Yeah, gel's already kicked in on those three, hence the perfect timing. So, Kalnins is going to follow Bernotas, follow, I think, Sato, and then Stallionis. And we'll get let out by those three. Any fatigue worries? No. All three of them on negatives, so they'll burn through pretty quickly. Hamadovic, find the gap. Come on, buddy. There you go.
Well, we can see that the pack is increasing the pace. It's going to be difficult to break away now. And he moves on to the attack. It could be decisive.
And you're seeing we're not the only ones trying to make a late push here. 11k to go. Hamadovic starting to find the gap. Pull clear of it.
Only 10 kilometers left.
It's going to be a while before Stallionis is up. I think I need to just start pushing 99s. 8.5k to go. Hamadovic, go ahead and try to break toe behind us here. And we are clear at the front. This is good. We're in a really good position right now. 7k. Galvez pushing well. Onto Akira. Taking over at the front. Again, try to break that toe behind us. Get these sprinters further and further away. 5k, gel up for the last three. Stallionis, time to take over.
Only 5 kilometers left.
And we've split the field. We're down to 66 in contention. 4.5k. 3.9. That's pushing it a little, isn't it? I should be into my sprinters. These guys should be inside the last 3k. Not out of energy for Sato at 3k. Yeah, 2.9. Bernotas should be sprinting, but we're not at that stage. He's going to have to take over. And these guys are already coming up on us. They're that much stronger. Their flat ratings are that much better. 1.9. 1.9. Okay, Bernotas, start your sprint. Kalnin, sprint. Oh, we're out front. That doesn't mean we're going to hold on to it, but that does mean we are going to finish well. We're not going to hang on to it, but it's going to be a podium.
He really had to fight for that one.
David Decker, just too fast, but Bernotas and Kalnin, second and third. Ahead of Barbier, ahead of Sam Bennett. That's good. And we had the energy left. I mean, we timed it well. We were in the right place, and they were sprinting, and they were out front. They just got out-sprinted. Like I said on that last stage where we were talking about the progress, or 2 stages ago, where we were talking about the progress we've made. It's progress. We're going to be competitive, and that was competitive. We're not going to automatically win things. We're not the best yet. We're not there. Even with good race day condition, that just made us near the front. And it's nice to be competitive, but we're not quite there to just be grabbing wins fairly easily. The objective was a top 10, so that's going to be a big boost for us as we got on the podium. So we did a couple steps better than what they were looking for. A top 5 would have been very well perceived by the sponsor. This is always false. It's still same day, but by the time we turn the calendar to the next day, we'll see where we actually stand. I would imagine we'll be up into the yellow anyway. Back in Catalunya, stage 3. This is the first of our 2 mountain stages that we're going to have to navigate and get through. And this one, not that steep. And Karaman has a +5 race day condition. Now, of course, his +2 race day draw is somewhat negated by Isakov and his -2 race day draw, so they balance each other out. We were hoping to keep both of them in a high position. Now I'm fully ready to commit to Karaman and use Isakov, but I will plan to use Gonzalez Albiol first, even though he's on a +3 and a better climber than Isakov, just slightly. We'll use him up because he's already further down the standings, and we'll try to hang on for Isakov that little bit longer, but we'll see what we can do with this one. Breakaway's already been caught, 145 left in the peloton, 24 kilometers to go. We're already going up and have been for quite some time. By the way, we ended up finishing the stage 3rd and 4th as Almeida slipped up and moved up the order as he finished and took 2nd and was ahead of us after that sprint stage, but we're timing wise 4th and 5th, so we're still in really good shape. Okay, 17k to go, and we're definitely starting to go uphill, but let's see how bad is it. When does it really pick up? A little bit from now. It's going to start for sure. This next little kink, and then it's going to come back, and we're going to pick up right here. Starting to climb. This also means it's time for us to up the effort a little bit. As we're seeing the first attack from Vlasov, RTL going for it. There's already a response. We do not want to be slipping backwards, so let our climbers climb at their climbing pace, and hopefully the others will do the work to chase, keep in tow, and we just managed to not slip backwards.
The peloton has definitely accelerated, meaning that an attack is highly unlikely.
Acceleration by Vlasov.
Again, he pushes on, and now it's 2 riders going clear. It gives them slightly better chances of succeeding now that there's 2. All right, 11k. Let's check back in. We are through that easier section. It's about to get into the difficult stuff. So the punchy bits are about to no longer be a thing. So Luko, gel. Kikovci, gel. Narbutas, gel. Now our position's still good. We followed the way we needed to follow, but we got through the punchy part without allowing ourselves to draw into our reserves too much. But this was a 1-2 punch. Vlasov was setting up Carapaz. He, meanwhile, has gone clear, but it's not a big gap. 9.5k to go. There's no way he can go 9.5k. Being chased by 138 riders. Especially when we're still holding our position fairly well. Luko, Narbutas, Kukovci, they're not going to last much longer, but they're still here. Ryabovis slipping back on his own a little bit. We need to get him up here on the wheel of, like, say, Gonzalez Albiol. As Narbutas is done. He is going backwards. Ryabovis is going to be the replacement, and it is Kukovci who Oh no, that was Kikochi, not Arbutas.
Acceleration by Carapaz.
Okay, support Karaman, please. And then we will get Isakov. Oh no, Gonzalez Albiol to support Isakov, please. Thank you. Where is Isakov? He's just a little bit too far back here. 6K to go, and I have 4 riders. Gel. Rebovis has not started fading, but he will. Here comes the 1-2-3 punch. It's Vlasov again. So it's back under the 1-2 punch, really. And I have 3 riders to make a push with 5K. It's a little bit far out for 5K. Let's see if somebody else responds.
The riders are entering the
Nope.
last 5 kilometers
Foss,
of the stage.
Sivikov, Bernal look like they're all about to attack. And I do not see an immediate response that's going to negate what they're doing. Therefore, set you to auto. Set you to auto. This field has got a lot of riders that are definitely going backwards, but aren't officially back yet. Alright, Gonzalez Albiol, Isakov, go for it, and then Karaman will follow. Burn through the other 2. Foss, Vlasov,
Those
they
guys
are
up front
pursuing,
aren't going to be
okay.
making too many friends today.
4K. Vlasov's not going to hang on to this one. Gonzalez Albiol. Isakov's not. He's just going to have to follow. Okay, Gonzalez Albiol. What? You were already in front. What just happened? What just happened? Come on. Gonzalez Albiol was already going clear, and then all of a sudden didn't. I look up here, I look back, and all of a sudden he just did it again. Karaman just got blocked off by Vingegaard. And I do not know what happened to Gonzalez Albiol and why he lost so much ground so quickly. But Karaman is going to gain on quite a few guys here towards the end, but he's definitely not going to win the stage. 300 meters. We're in the top 10. Perlikov takes the win, of course. Almeida grabs second. We will be on the same time as third. Those two both gaining a gap. Del Rue, Bernal, Hamilton, Karaman, then Sevenant, Martinez, and Rodriguez are your top 9. And then we see the gaps behind that. That was weird. Twice. One, I didn't see what happened, so I'm not sure. But Gonzalez Albiol told to go forward. Somehow, a fraction of a second later, I look back and he is 20 positions further worse than he was. So I don't know how that happened. We got caught behind somebody going backwards, or was 85 just not enough effort for Gonzalez Albiol to go forward? Either way, he was holding his position just fine and not slipping backwards. So was there a big acceleration? Maybe. Did he get caught behind somebody slow? That seems more likely. But then we saw the second time, right? Karaman was tailing Gonzalez Albiol, and just as I sent him to go clear, all of a sudden he was 3 bike lengths behind Gonzalez Albiol. And we saw what caused that. We saw the rider that was going backwards that blocked Karaman and forced him to lose ground. So that was costly. The first one was also costly. I just don't know exactly what it was. Didn't see it, didn't witness it myself. Either way, still a good result. I feel like if those two things hadn't happened, Karaman's position's a little bit better. He probably claims third on the stage. Maybe he's there with Almeida to get second. We were certainly still in the mix right there at the end, but we had to come from way behind to do that. That sucked. But whatever. It happens. It's part of racing. And these are the gaps that were given. over half a minute to Berlikov at the front. Almeida was at 18 down, my group at 34, and then gaps opened up behind us as they started coming in ones and twos. Berlikov gains enough time to surpass Karaman. He didn't do very well with his time trial. He's 4 seconds ahead of us. Almeida also gaining enough time to move ahead. Otherwise, Karaman ahead of the entire rest of the field. So he sits third overall, just a handful of seconds shy of second. We're in a good spot. I wasn't thinking about necessarily winning this race. I was thinking more along the lines of how high can we finish? Karaman is not Berlikov. Berlikov just showed what Berlikov does best, and that is winning mountaintop finishes. Karaman is just more of the competitive on mountaintop finishes. And, with those couple things that happened on the stage, I'm actually fairly pleased. I'm not stoked, but I'm fairly pleased that he was able to recover enough to, finish sixth on the stage. And the last mountain stage is our next stage. You can see from the profile, this one's a lot more serious than the stage we just competed in. This one has Berlikov written all over it, so he's likely to pull away and claim another stage and probably claim the overall lead of this race ahead of Almeida, most likely. But we should still be competitive. And if we can keep a podium, I think I'd be pretty happy. I'm already happy with where we're at. But what I'm most happy with was seeing Martin Guerrero level up so that we've got that chance. It's what we need. It's what needs to happen for us to make a World Tour for next season, because that is the goal. We need to get there. It's time. We need to get there. So hopefully we are not going to flounder in Continental Pro for another season, because the entire field is all 5-star teams. And that's what we're approaching. My team's getting better and better. But so is every other team. The database is too stacked, too much potential. They don't have it very well balanced right now. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.